Yo, yo, yo. Welcome back to another episode of Shy Boys Podcast. On today's episode, ladies and gentlemen, I got to pose the question. After we seen what Jimmy Butler did last night to the Milwaukee Bucks, is it fair to criticize Zach Lavine for his shortcomings in the playoffs? Oh, my God. Hey, we going to talk about it. But you know you got to hear the music first.
Cognac. Gang.
Shy Boys Podcast with the Cognac Boys. I'm Cognac Boy Bobby, holding it down on another episode of Shy Boys Podcast with me and my co-host, C-Dub. If you like what you're listening to today, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Now, look, yesterday, we know that Jimmy Butler put up a historical performance of 56 points and 9 rebounds to put their foot on the Milwaukee Bucks' neck and go up. In the 1 versus 8 seed matchup, they went up 3-1 with the Milwaukee Bucks on the brink of elimination in the next game. Now, the reason I'm coming to this question is because we know Zach Lavine was traded for Jimmy Butler. It is what it is. We know what the Chicago Bulls did. We know the decision they made to go ahead and trade Jimmy Butler away to the Minnesota T-Wolves for some picks, Chris Dunn, Larry Marketing, and Zach Lavine. But let me go ahead and provide some context on why this is even a question for me right now. It's because let's just look at it. Jimmy Butler, he was a dog. You know what I'm saying? He had some shortcomings with the Chicago Bulls. He was a young pup, but he grew up to be a top dog in the Chicago Bulls uniform. You know what I'm saying? Going in, battling out, learning from the vets of Joakim Noah, Derrick Rose, Taj Gibson, players like that, and learning behind Tom Thibodeau, and then being moved on where the Bulls made a transition to going into Fred Hoiberg and Jimmy Butler was just not rocking with Fred Hoiberg and some of the things that he was doing as the head coach of the Chicago Bulls. So with all the turmoil and all the friction that was going on between the two, Jimmy Butler went on to the front office like, hey, it's either me or Fred. Pick one. The organization elected to pick Fred Hoiberg. Now, since then, Jimmy Butler has had some great playoff performances. He went to Minnesota, got those guys to the playoffs, found out that Cat and Andrew Wiggins just wasn't that dude, challenged those guys, and was eventually shipped out of Minnesota as well. He was sent to the Philadelphia 76ers. He went to the Philadelphia 76ers, and man, he had some solid performances in that playoff journey with them, but eventually fell to the Toronto Raptors on the shot that was heard around the world with the multiple bounces. And then at the end of the season, it was another ultimatum for Jimmy Butler again. It's either me or Tobias Harris. The Philadelphia 76ers, I know they regret that move. They went on and went with Tobias Harris instead of Jimmy Butler. Then Jimmy Butler gets to Miami. He makes it to the finals in the bubble year. But he and in multiple years, he knocked down some of the best teams in the Eastern Conference. Gabe was one of the key contributors to that building of the wall to stop Giannis. Got him up out of there. Giannis came back, knocked them out of there, and went on to win a championship, et cetera, et cetera. Now they're back in the playoffs again, and they're battling, and this man just went on, and he making it real interesting within this 1 versus 8 seed. Can the Bucks come back? I don't know. We'll have to wait and see because that's a whole nother topic for a whole nother channel. But it is what it is. The point is that Jimmy Butler has had playoff success that the Bulls have not had since they made the transition of letting Derrick Rose go, letting Jimmy Butler go, and moving on to the Zach Lavine era. You know what I'm saying? Now, if we're looking at Zach Lavine, let's be honest, he has not produced to the level of Jimmy Butler. So a lot of people are going to say, well, the Bulls lost the trade. The Bulls did this. What I would say this, the Bulls made the trade with the Minnesota Timberwolves. So did we really lose the trade? I don't know. You can still say, well, if we would have kept Jimmy Butler, we don't know. We know what the organization is. We know what they're about. We know we got a cheap owner, and we know we made some questionable moves in the last 6 seasons. And in those 6 seasons, Zach Lavine has only made it to the playoffs one time, and he only won one game, and that was mostly due to DeMar DeRozan performance against the Milwaukee Bucks. And let's keep it a buck. That entire playoff series, Zach Lavine, he was hurt. He was not that good. He was on the floor. We're not going to point to the injuries. It was just simple. He was not that good. You know what I'm saying? This season, he had a good play-in performance against Toronto, but when it really counted the most in the second play-in game, he did not show up. We'll just keep it a buck. He did not show up, and that's what it was. And now look, the Miami Heat, they win that play-in game against the Chicago Bulls, grab some momentum, and then now they rolling. You know what I'm saying? Jimmy Butler doing this thing, so it is what it is. Now, I would say this. I would say it's fair to criticize Zach Lavine for his playoff woes. I would say it's fair, but I don't think it will be 100% on Zach Lavine for multiple reasons. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I get it. We do want Zach Lavine to be that guy to say, give me the ball, get out my way, I can score, can't nobody stop me. It is what it is. Move. I'm finna put the ball in the basket. I don't care if it's 39, 45, 56, whatever. I'm about to score. I'm about to will my team to victory, and that's just what it is. That's fair. But some of the blame got to go to the organization as well. You know what I'm saying? And I don't really want to reminisce because it is what it is. The Bulls made the trade with the Minnesota Timberwolves. The Minnesota Timberwolves ain't done jack. So if we comparing the trade between the two organizations, we can say, hey, both of the teams are in a bad shape. But now when you go and you start looking at if you're looking at different pieces of what was exchanged, you damn near got to look at the organization. You know what I'm saying? Because the organization continues to make questionable moves that have placed the Bulls where they are right now. Yes, we've had some exciting team the last few years, at least tried to make it exciting, right? But at the end of the day, some of the blame got to go towards the organization. You know what I'm saying? The trade was made with Zach Lavine, Lowry, and Chris Dunn being the cornerstones of what the Chicago Bulls were supposed to move into. 2 of those players are not even here anymore. You got rid of you're on your third coach since then. So that blame goes toward the organizations. You know what I'm saying? Fred Hoiberg, again, gone. Jim Boylan, gone. And the roster construction, let's keep it a buck. It's not that good. It has not been that good, and that's just what it is. We got a front office that was just in the last 2 seasons that pretty much said, screw that. We're going to go with continuity, and continuity got us 1 play-in victory, and then no playoffs, and that's just what it really is. Some of that blame has to be directed towards the organization. If you want to criticize Zach Lavine, say he's not a winning player, that's your prerogative. I will counter back with this. It ain't too many Zach Lavines in this NBA. And if you do believe that, name them. Every time I ask some of y'all to name them, you never name them. It ain't too many Zach Lavines that the Bulls can trade for and bring in to replace that production. That's just the facts. And we point to a lot of different things. But I would say this: culture matters. What are the Heat known for? The Heat are known for being hard-nosed teams, a no-nonsense team, and a grit and grind team for the last 2 decades. You know what I'm saying? Since Dwayne Wade was there and all that. Even before then, they were still building that type of culture over there. And coaching matters. The reason I say coaching matters is because, look, the Bulls haven't had stability at the coaching position since Tom Thibodeau. Fred Hoiberg, trash. You know what I'm saying? Well, I wouldn't say trash. I would say that he needed a little bit more help. Roster construction could have been something, but at the end of the day, not good enough. Jim Boylan, not good enough. Billy Donovan, the jury's still out on Billy Donovan as well. So we have to look at these things that really, really matter. So culture matters, coaching matters, roster construction matters. Who are you bringing in on the team? Can we name one dog on a Chicago Bulls team? No, we can't. We can't. We really can't. The only dog that the Bulls recently brought in this past season was Pat Bev. Don't tell me that Tristan Thompson was a dog. I mean, yeah, he gonna bark it up a bit, but no, not to the level of a Jimmy Butler. You need a dog. And I'm not talking about a Dylan Brooks who's gonna talk and then duck the media. I'm talking about a dog that's gonna stand there, face the media, and still come out and produce in some way, at least get these guys riled up to go ahead and lead into battle and take a game like the Miami Heat took last night. That stuff matters. That stuff matters. And the reason I'm really harping on coaching and that matters. Did you see what the Milwaukee Bucks coach did last night and Mike Budenholzer? When Jimmy Butler scores 20 straight points by himself for the Miami Heat, Budenholzer didn't make an adjustment to get the ball out of his hands to force somebody else to beat you. The man just stuck with the plan the entire game. Coaching matters. Culture matters. So criticize Zach Lavine if you want to. I give him a little bit of criticism for his playoff woes. But I would say this organization has not done a good job of putting out a hard-nosed team, a grit and grind team, a modern-day offensive team with a little bit of defense. They haven't done any of that. They haven't done any of that. We elected to select Patrick Williams, who's a raw talent, who is still coming to his own, versus I believe we could have had Halliburton or something like that. We elected to get Dalen Terry, who can't get minutes, instead of getting the size that we needed in a Walker Kessler or something like that. It's a lot of questionable moves, and those two are not just the only examples from this organization. The organization needs to be better. And with that, and let's just put it out there. Reinsdorf ain't selling his team, y'all. He's not selling his team. Why? Because we still buy the merch. We still rep the organization. And why would he sell when we continue to fill up seats in the UC, even when we stink? It's not happening. It's not happening. But I would say it's fair to criticize Zach Lavine. He definitely deserves some criticism because he's now coming to his own. But I will say this. Have we seen Donovan Mitchell? A lot of people will put Donovan Mitchell above Zach Lavine. But look at Donovan Mitchell right now in these playoffs. It's the same story over and over again since he was in Utah. We love him during the regular season. But where does he go in the postseason? Where does he go? Okay, put up the numbers. But what about the results? And that's what makes Jimmy Butler different from Zach Lavine and Donovan Mitchell. Jimmy Butler, his points are more impactful and the results are more better because of what he does. So criticize Zach Lavine. I'm all for it. But you also got to throw some of that smoke at the organization as well. You got to throw some of that smoke at the organization as well. So that's it for today. Let me know how y'all feeling about everything we talked about in the comments below. Y'all already know. Hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Y'all already know. If you want to go ahead and send a voicemail or a text message, go ahead and send it in to the number 773-242-9219. This is another episode of Shy Boys Podcast. I'm Bobby. I'm going to catch y'all on the next one.
Cognac. Gang.